everybody, it is me Leo and welcome back to another video. So today we're back with another speed build, and this time we are building another vacation home in Selva Dorada. I am super excited for this one because it's a pretty unique vacation home, if I do say so myself. So this one is called the Tropical Contemporary Villa, and it's got one guest bedroom and one outdoor bathroom. And I actually originally wanted to call this the glass canopy, but I didn't feel like that name really represented the house enough, so I felt like calling it Tropical Contemporary Villa would have been easier for people to kind of get a really good idea of what I was going for. But I knew that I really wanted to build a vacation home with like a glass roof. So having this glass awning piece that came with Get Together was really part of my core concept from the very beginning. And you guys can see that I'm incorporating it in this home, or in this vacation home, by sandwiching it in between two gable roofs and then using these shed roofs on either side to pretty much fill in the rest of the space. I'm also using the gable roof to make sort of like this really interesting porch or lanai area. Does anybody still use the word lanai? But yeah, it's kind of like this outdoorsy lounge area, and I wanted to put a roof on top of it, over it, above it, but I wanted the roof to have that kind of like truss shape to it. So I actually took two shed roofs and I extended the eaves on one side and I tried to connect it, and it actually came out really nice. Like, it had like this shape with, I don't know, it just has a really nice kind of like almost truss-like shape, if you guys got what I mean. So I really wanted to do that as well. Hopefully I'm not being too technical on you guys, but what's really unique about this build is the fact that the entire thing is actually completely outdoors. So I'm using these columns over here to make it look like an actual structurally coherent build, like, yeah. And they also have a purpose of actually delineating the space without using actual walls to enclose the space, if that makes any sense. But I thought that they looked really good. The glass awning that I used, it had these legs, but since I used the 9 key to raise it up, it had like some of the legs floating. So I used some columns. I don't actually know what those came with, but I used these columns that have like this rocky texture to kind of like extend the legs, and I actually thought that looked really good. So the house itself looked really symmetrical at first, until I started to add this bathroom area, which I knew that it was going to be an outside bathroom. I really wanted that from the very beginning. I've seen a lot of that in like resorts, tropical resorts all over the world, so I knew that I wanted like a very luxurious tropical bathroom. So that's what I was going for. And let's see here. My main inspiration for this was actually the tropical resort architecture of places in Southeast Asia, specifically in Bali or Phuket or wherever in the Philippines, like some sort of exclusive resort for the resort and famous, for the rich and famous. So it's definitely got that luxurious aspect to it, and I was really happy with how it turned out. Growing up, my mom and dad really liked to collect these coffee table books and these catalogs of like architecture from all over the world. So I guess as an impressionable child, I subconsciously absorbed some of that into my subconscious. So yeah, I really wanted to recreate something that looked like it would, you know, fit in seamlessly in one of those catalogs. So I just tried to make it look really effortless and not too cluttered, not too overworked. And that took a lot of self-control because I can be I don't know, I can definitely go out of control. I'm kind of distracted right now because there is a siren going outside. Of course this had to happen while I was recording, but I'm gonna keep it in because it's just so funny. What is going on? Is there like some sort of accident outside? As always, this is gonna happen to me, like really. What is going on? Why is that siren like not stopping? There's probably like a fire or like an ambulance or something. I'm sorry about that, but I'm really happy with my commentary so far, so screw you, freaking siren. Anyway, so I actually put a front door, even though it really doesn't have much of a purpose, because if Sims wanted to trespass, they could just go to the back because there's literally no doors at the back. But I thought that having a front door was a nice kind of like I don't know, threshold from, you know, the outside world into this, you know, really relaxing sort of like escape almost, you know. So I feel like this is perfect for Sims who are going on a honeymoon and do a little bit of relaxation and introspecting. I don't even know, but I would definitely like go here on vacation. I would love to live here in real life, but yeah, I don't think that's gonna be possible. Anyway, thank goodness that siren is gone. Like, how unlucky can I be every time I do these recordings? I'm just literally like super unlucky, but whatever. It was a good change of pace, I guess, from the normal mundane occurrences that happen, because literally it's pretty routine for me on a daily basis. So a siren like that is exciting for someone like me. Anyway, so I actually made this like backyard. I mean, it's not a backyard, it's more of like a back porch area. Lanai. I'm definitely bringing that word back. Like, I like the sound of lanai. It's basically like a tropical porch thing. I actually do not know what that word actually means, but I'm gonna assume that a lanai is kind of like a balcony, veranda type of thing. So yeah, anyway, the back lanai is so big. I knew that I wanted to have a pool as big as I can possibly get it. So that's that, and it's also quite spacious as well, actually. Like, you would notice that in a lot of these resort buildings, they actually tend to be really I'm not gonna say like really sparsely furnished, but the furnishing, it's not like super cluttered, you know. Like, it doesn't feel lived in. Like, it feels like kind of cold almost. I don't know, that's just how I felt. I don't know why, I don't even know, because it also looks really cozy, but it also looks really kind of like exclusive and almost like hard to reach. Yeah, it's really difficult to actually verbalize what I'm thinking, but once you guys see the interior, I think it's gonna be a pretty easy to understand the look that I was going for. But what's really interesting is that most of the wall textures and floor textures in this build are just one. Yeah, I just use one wall texture and floor texture for most of the build. Like, I did have some sort of variation. Like, I did throw in like a feature wall. I did throw in like a feature wall and a feature floor. Never heard of that before. But yeah, I used the Pure Expressions, which is probably the one wall paint that I used the most. And I used these floor tiles that came with Spa Day. I used them all throughout the house, actually. including for both the quote-unquote indoor areas and also the outdoor areas, because I really wanted that to be seamless. So I didn't want the material on the floor to kind of separate the interior and the exterior. I also threw in some wood accents as well on the walls and on the floors, but you guys will see that later on. But right now we're furnishing the kitchen, and I'm using a lot of items from Cool Kitchen and Jungle Adventure. I also kept the kitchen quite open as well. I don't know, I just really liked how it looked. Yeah, and there's this nice little bar area with a wooden hardwood ceiling, a hardwood ceiling. And it took me a while to actually decide on what bar stool I wanted to use, because at this point I still haven't gotten like a good idea of like the look that I was going for. Like, I knew the feel and the vibe that I was going for, but in terms of like what specific items I wanted to choose, I had no idea at this point. So I went with those modern bar stools. I replaced those with ones that came with Luxury Party. Was that it? I think that was it. Yeah, but so right here I actually cut out the parts where I was experimenting, but I spent so much time experimenting with like different furnitures and stuff until I finally decided to use this sofa. I thought it looked really contemporary, and I'm using a lot of tables from Jungle Adventure. I love the tables because they have like a really nice wooden texture, so I really like them. And yeah, I think at this point I pretty much had a really good idea of what I was going for. So from here on out, it was pretty streamlined. It was pretty smooth furnishing. I just love the effect of that light going into the skylight, and I've actually tested this out. When the Sims are inside and they look up, they can actually see the forest canopy from that skylight. They can see like the really tall like banyan trees and palm trees, and it just looks really amazing. Like, you don't have to look out a window to see the outside, you just look up and you'll see the trees, and it's like really amazing. Really funny though, like one of the lot traits for this house is creepy crawlies. I thought that was really funny, but as somebody who comes from a tropical country, I know that the creepy crawlies come out in the afternoon or at nighttime, so they better be careful. So yes, I've yet to see like actual spiders come out, or like mosquitoes or whatever come out from the creepy crawlies lot trait, but I don't know, I might see some when I'm playtesting this build, so yeah. Anyway, ooh yeah, I'm using these technique, I don't know which person I got this from, I'm sorry if I don't remember, but one of the people I watch on YouTube, I've seen them do this technique where they shrink the floor lamps and they use it as like table lamps, and I'm just like, what? I love that idea, so I just had to include that in this build. I really love the effect of them on like that TV area. Also, for the interior, it really mirrors the symmetry of the outside, so a lot of the items are actually really symmetrical here, which I don't really mind. I feel like there's a time and a place for symmetry, and I feel like in this case it was actually quite appropriate. So you guys will see that even a lot of the clutter items later on, I placed like some vases and some like some flower vases, flower vases, and I don't know, just some pot plants. I'm Australian now, g'day. No, but some potted plants. Yeah, and I placed them in a way that's very symmetrical actually, so I really like that. This little area right here, oh my gosh, my neighbor upstairs is making so much noise. Like, why does this all happen while I'm recording? You guys, like, why? Anyway, I did that like kind of like sitting area. I'd like to call it the dining area, but I really didn't intend it to be a dining area, but that's the only dining table in this entire build that actually works. So we're gonna call it like the outdoor dining, even though like you would typically see those in like resorts. I don't know what that purpose of that is, but reception, I guess we can call it like some sort of like reception, receiving area or something like that, or like brunch. I think this is like a perfect place for brunch, but I decided to add like this pendant light. I really like it. It's really Scandinavian looking actually, and I thought it looked perfect for that like truss area because it was just the perfect length for that. And at this point I decided to incorporate some wooden wall textures on like the glass canopy area, and I also decided to throw in some wooden trims on the ceilings and on the roofs because I felt like that just made it look a lot more tropically. So this is actually quote unquote supposed to be the dining area, but it really isn't. It's not functional actually because I tried putting actual dining chairs over here, but it just looks so effing boring. So I decided to just use some love seats actually that came with, I believe these ones came with Perfect Patio. I love them. I use actually the same pattern of love seat. I use the same style of chairs quite all throughout this build. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I really like that little area. I thought that the love seats were a different take on like a dining area, and I don't know, it just felt really nice and casual, so I really liked it. It also looks really comfortable as well. Right now we are finally working on the master bedroom, and yeah, it's pretty luxurious if I do say so myself. As I mentioned earlier, there might be some creepy crawlies coming out at night. There might be some things that go bump in the night that are not necessarily creepy crawlies. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I knew that I wanted to use this canopy bed with like the mosquito netting. I'm gonna pretend like that's mosquito netting for this build, so we're just gonna say that it's mosquito netting, okay? But yeah, it's the canopy bed that came with City Living. I like how the wood color that it actually gives us matches with all of the wood that I've chosen in this build. Like there's a lot of wood. I used a combination of light and dark woods, and I'm really happy with how just kind of like luxurious everything came together. It's not like your cliche tropical Salvadorada style, because I feel like some people are probably getting tired of all of the things in Salvadorada looking the same, so I wanted it to definitely have this contemporary now vibe, so yeah. And I also put this little porch area using these lounge chairs from Laundry Day, and oh, I also used that item. I don't know what that came with. It's like this little flower arrangement thing. It reminded me so much of those things that you would see in like resorts and stuff, so I used them a couple of times in this build. I think those came with City Living, I'm assuming, so yeah. And there's this little nook area right here that I didn't know what to do with, so I just put in a massage. I would have loved to have like a space for a couples massage, but I didn't have a space for it, so I just placed this one over here, which I felt like was just as good. Yeah, so I just put it there in case, you know, one of our people in their honeymoon needs to have a relaxing massage in their porch. I thought that was a really nice little corner for that. So yeah. And I think, let's see here, what is okay. Oh yeah, this is the part where I am furnishing, not really furnishing, but I'm adding more clutter items. And as I mentioned to you guys earlier, I did go really symmetrical, but I felt like it was really appropriate, and I think it really worked for this build because I think it reflects the symmetry on the outside, and I think it also gives it a sense of formality and luxury because, you know, having two of the same items, I feel like it's got these excessive quality to it, which wasn't something that I was opposed of. So I just did what I felt was right, and I was really happy. So for the bathroom area, I gotta say, I was really happy with this one. I've done a lot of bathrooms that had like the split level thing, but I was just really happy with this one actually. I used a lot of items from Spa Day and also Base Game, and of course Jungle Adventure as well. Oh, by the way, I noticed that in this part, for some reason, like the recording got glitched out. I don't really know why, but apologies if you guys cannot see the interface. I feel like something just went wrong with OBS. It tends to do it to me. It happens a couple too many times from what I'm comfortable with. So hopefully, you know what, I might just have to update my OBS or something, but I don't know why it didn't record the interface, but you guys can still see the furnishing part, so at least. But yeah, I'm just filling up all of these little areas, these little planter boxes with you know, plants, and I just tried to make it look as tropical as I can. Of course, I had to edit all the excess out because I was just placing plants and that just took forever. I also placed like a little fountain actually, because I thought that was a nice little relaxing feature, you know, taking a bath while listening to the water spray. I felt like that was a nice comfortable sensation, if I do say so myself. So this lanai area, it's actually quite sparsely furnished, to be honest. Like, it's only got a couple of pot plants and recliners, but I don't know, it just looked really luxurious, so I just kept it really simple and streamlined, but I still think it worked out in the end. Like, even though it looks really simple, I really worked hard and thought hard on making this look quite realistic and catalog worthy, if I do say so myself. But you guys just saw me actually rotate the lot, and I wanted the front of the lot to face the part where there's a pathway. It's so freaking hard to actually build in Selva Dorada because there's like no pathways that actually connect to the lot. So you just have like a floating lot. Like, it's literally almost got nothing to do with the outdoors. Like, it's really hard to connect it with what is going on, you know, like in the area surrounding it. But I tried my best with the landscaping to match the landscaping of Selva Dorada, and yeah, I think it came out really nice. Of course, I don't include the entire landscaping because that would take 10 million years, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really happy. You guys can see a little bit of that here, and I wish I could have done a lot more in the front, but like I said, it was really hard because there's really nothing that really connects it to the pathway, so I couldn't really figure out a way. But pretty much to finish this off, I'm just putting in this little truck, which I imagine is their way of getting into here because they're too posh to hike, and this probably would deliver some supplies as well. So I threw in some crates and boxes carrying some supplies for our occupants over here. I also had some footage where I had some landscaping on the front, but I had to cut it out for time purposes. But it looks like that is going to be it for this build, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it all up right here. So I hope you guys like this build, and I hope you guys enjoyed enough to help support the channel by subscribing and sharing the video. Also, leaving a like and a comment is very much appreciated as well. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right here. Once again, you all have an awesome day. Thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.